make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is reportedly preparing to face Devin Haney at 140, accepting rehydration limits and staying fully confident that his skill level tops every opponent.
All of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. Yeah. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on?
Devin Haney insists his fight with Shakur Stevenson is coming, showing focus and determination, making it clear he truly wants this moment.
Shakur still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, we're all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which, even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We tried.
Shakur Stevenson says he's not afraid of Devin Haney, but believes Devin's team may twist it to claim he's dodging the fight.
To Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two it'll hit a point where it's like the world is gonna demand. You know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me?
Shakur Stevenson believes he's on a different level, with no fighter able to beat him, and that Devin can't knock him out.
He's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing to
But do
make
you
the
see
fight
it
happen.
as it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole plot was like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is driven to prove himself, chasing elite opponents like Shakur Stevenson to cement his true greatness.
Those fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then, you know, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all.
Bill Haney makes it clear they won't drop down and wait, so anyone wanting the fight has to rise to 140.
He didn't become undisputed yet. They didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, you know, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? You know, as far as like, people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed, so they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in the way.
He adds the fight can happen whenever the challenger is ready.
So we must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. You know, they're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, you know, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, you know, we'll never do it. Obviously, you know, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, you know, yeah, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said that he's going to go somewhere.
Tim Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson has what it takes to rise even beyond Terence Crawford in boxing's history. Crawford already sits on the sport's Mount Rushmore, a 5-division champion whose accomplishments are legendary. Still, Bradley feels Shakur, much like Crawford, carries the talent and skill to climb even higher. He explains this isn't about chasing Crawford's undisputed crowns or jumping through endless weight classes, but about the chances Crawford never had because of boxing politics back then. Bradley notes that if people like Turki Alashik had existed during Crawford's rise, breaking barriers between promoters, massive fights with names like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Yordanes Ugas could have happened sooner, pushing Crawford's legacy even further.
I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the sense of becoming 3-time undisputed and, you know, going up to, you know, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. You know, he already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in the sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. You know, Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you know, you have guys like Turki Alashik that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, you know, make these big fights.
With that perspective, Shakur is stepping into an era where elite fighters from 130 to 135 pounds are within reach, giving him constant chances to face the very best. Names like Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, O'Shaquie Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, Brian Garcia, and more now shape Shakur's possible battles. Bradley stresses that Shakur doesn't just have the talent to compete with them, but the chance to beat them, cementing his legacy and possibly surpassing Crawford in both impact and accomplishment.
He was around when Crawford was on his climb. You know, when Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas, and, you know, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, you know, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, you know, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. You know, bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, you know, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters, hovering around 135, 130, you know, guys like, you know, O'Shaquie Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 135.
There's a major obstacle in the way, but as you watch these two compete, it's clear that outside of cheating, neither is likely to lose. That said, Devin Haney quickly responds to Shakur, and Shakur fires back at Devin. This back and forth shows the intense dynamic between elite fighters. Early on, there was talk of a Four Kings 2.0 with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, drawing comparisons to the legendary era of Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran.
Devin Haney going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose. Right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin. Right? Again, we had the initial Four Kings. It was Devin, Ryan, Tio, and Tank Davis. Right? It was supposed to be the Four Kings 2.0. From the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Interestingly, Wilfred Benitez, often overlooked in discussions of that era, defeated Roberto Duran, who struggled against several of the original Four Kings. Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard only once, was brutally knocked out by Hearns, outclassed by Hagler, and bested by Benitez. Despite these feats, Benitez remains overshadowed. Likewise, fighters like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez have often taken the spotlight over Shakur Stevenson. Yet Stevenson has started to stand out, especially after dominating Teofimo Lopez. Meanwhile, Tank Davis's legal troubles and hesitancy to fight further emphasize the challenges and opportunities that are reshaping modern boxing's landscape.
We had that Four King era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost to he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Tio, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined a light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Bernie Thorboxer reacts to the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney matchup by highlighting the legacies and achievements of both fighters. Shakur is now a 4-division world champion, a 2-time lineal champion, and a 2-time Ring magazine title holder. He also became a 2-time unified champion at 130 pounds, having defeated top-tier opponents like Teofimo Lopez, who always rises to the challenge.
After the fight, Conor Benn comes into the ring. They talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that, and now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight. He wants the money for.
Devin Haney, meanwhile, is a 3-division world champion and was once undisputed. Bernie stresses that if Shakur wants to face Devin head-on, he should do it without hesitation. Taking on Devin at his peak would leave no room for excuses and ensure Shakur earns full credit for a historic achievement. According to Bernie, both fighters are elite, but defeating Devin in his prime would further solidify Shakur Stevenson's legacy as one of his generation's best, showcasing his skill, determination, and championship-level ability.
He fights accomplishments, because now Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion. So he's a 2-time Ring magazine winner. 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring, as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130. So he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion. Beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion. Had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion, and that was it. He was in his prime too, Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140, not taking away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying.
Lomachenko was a little older and smaller.
Shakur Stevenson recently put on a dominant display against Teofimo Lopez, and Buse Ennis emphasizes just how extraordinary it was, especially considering Shakur fought almost with one hand. His jab, the most vital punch in boxing, was sharp and precise, controlling distance flawlessly. Every move was calculated and effective, showing technical mastery that made Lopez look amateurish despite his experience and athleticism. Many critics had doubted Shakur's resume, claiming he hadn't faced top-tier opponents, but against Lopez, he silenced every skeptic. Technically, Shakur executed everything perfectly. Lopez struggled simply because he was up against Shakur Stevenson.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level. And, they were critical of Shakur. Oh, he ain't fought nobody, and this and that.
Yeah.
He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. Made him look like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man. I knew that from the beginning, even the time.
Even with his left hand slightly injured, Shakur stayed dominant throughout the fight, throwing his jab relentlessly and only using his left hand sparingly because of the injury. Buzzy highlights that Shakur could have gone for a stoppage if needed. Yet he navigated the bout smartly despite the discomfort. The performance showcased not just his skill, but his intelligence and calm under pressure. Fans in Philly and beyond witnessed a masterclass, with Shakur asserting himself as one of boxing's elite talents. Even while hurt, he controlled the fight, proving that greatness doesn't depend on perfect conditions. It depends on skill, heart, and unshakable focus.
Oh yeah. Shakur, no, he could have got stopped too, but Shakur hurt his left hand. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah, jab and then the
hook. And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we could hear you on the TV. Yo.
Yeah. That's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But he looked spectacular, man. You know what I mean? You can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he did it right.
The fight between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney is one fans can't wait to see. Both bring elite skill, speed, and determination, making every second in the ring unpredictable and intense. Fans are studying their styles and past fights, debating who will emerge victorious. Every punch, every move matters, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Shakur's technical mastery collides with Devin's agility and power, setting up a showdown that promises fireworks. The energy surrounding this fight is electric, and it could define both careers, delivering one of the most unforgettable bouts in recent boxing history.
The only fight that even remotely sparks my interest for Shakur Stevenson is this guy right here, Devin Haney. Look at them. They're the same size. Obviously, Devin's moved up to 147. Shakur demands a catch weight. We'll see if Devin goes for the bait, because I think Shakur Stevenson, there's no doubt about it, he has the skills to compete at 147 to be 5 weight division champion. I feel like that would be crazy.
That's it for today's video. So stay tuned. Until next.